What's up, YouTube? Welcome to my page. My name is James, and I'm super excited, man. A lot of people are asking me to make this page, this channel, and I'm finally getting to it. It's been a long time coming. This is my first video. Super excited. So let's get going. So what I teach, right, is a concept called velocity banking. I actually teach financial literacy as well, but mainly what I talk about is velocity banking. Now, what velocity banking is, we'll get right into it. But before we go there, let's get into how money works in America, right? So, we can all agree that there's 4 ways to legally make money. You're either an employee, you work for yourself, you're a business owner, or you're an investor, right? And what happens is, with those 4 ways of making money, people use that money to pay their bills, right? And whatever money they have after all their bills are paid, people either spend it, they either save it in like savings account getting you 0.01%. People pay down debts with it, whatever debt they have, and about 5% of people actually invest that money into bonds, stocks, 401ks and all that stuff. But the thing about doing that was your money's locked up, right? If there's an emergency, you can't use your 401k money to, get yourself a ride home on the highway if your car breaks down, right? So, and doing it that way, right? You get a paycheck, pay your bills, and the rest you do whatever with it. 80 to 90% of people live, Americans actually live paycheck to paycheck, right? I don't know about any of you, but I don't really have any rich people in my family, so I learned financial literacy from my parents, right? And my parents, being from another country, didn't really know how to really manage their finances as well, to get them to financial independence, because that's the goal here in America, right? The American dream is to be financially independent, financially free. So doing it that way clearly is the wrong way. People are still stressing over their bills. They're paying debt. They feel like forever, always waiting on that paycheck. Barely any money's in the savings account, right? Especially during this whole pandemic situation that we have going on, right? So what I teach is a concept that I learned called velocity banking. Now, this concept is super old. This is nothing new. Super easy to understand, super easy to implement. The hardest thing about it is you being focused, you being determined, and you being disciplined enough, to continue or to do this type of thinking, because that's really what this is. This is a way of thinking. I like to tell people it's a way of thinking about money differently, because actual cash is not real money. We all know this. It's fiat, right? And having good credit is actually worth more than having a lot of money in most cases, honestly, in most cases, right? So what is velocity banking? So what velocity banking teaches is, think of a triangle, right? So in that triangle, the bottom corner, you have your income, and on this side you have something called a debt tool, right? A debt asset, right? And it could be one of 4 things. It can be a credit card. I like to call those the training wheels, because we start off on a credit card, then we graduate and we kick off the training wheels and we move up to a line of credit. It could be a checking or line of credit, right? Personal line of credit. That's what they call it. If you're a business owner, you can have a business line of credit. And if you have a home already, I don't know about too many people my age with homes, but the older generation maybe, right? You can have something called a home equity line of credit. And what you do is take your income, take your debt asset, debt tool, and that pays down your bills, your expenses, and your debts, right? And the little money left over, called cash flow, pays down your line of credit. So what it is, the first thing you need to do is get your 4 numbers down. Your 4 numbers are your income, your expenses, your debt, and your cash flow. Income, whatever you make a month. Your expenses, whatever you spend in a month, and that should include a savings account. If you pay yourself first every time you get paid, consider that an expense, right? Debt, whatever your debt is, everyone's in X amount of debt, right? I'm actually debt free doing this concept, but we can get to that in a little bit later in the further videos, right? And cash flow. Your cash flow is your income minus your expenses. And what you do is you take your cash flow, you multiply it by 12. Why by 12? Because there's 12 months in a year. And you take that number, whatever that number is, let's say it's X, and you take X from your line of credit and you apply that to whatever debt, a student loan debt, a car payment, personal loan, mortgage payment, right? Credit card payment, right? And what it does is it saves you money on the amount of interest you would have paid on those loans, student, mortgage, car, all those loans, right? On top of that, builds your credit, because your cash flow is what is paying down your line of credit. So how it works is you take your income, your whole income, and you put it onto the line of credit. And you're like, now I have bills. Well, you go to that same line of credit and you use that money you just put in there to pay all your bills. The money that doesn't get used, right? Because you're only supposed to use credit for cash, for expenses you were going to spend cash on anyway, right? So whatever doesn't get used, which is considered your cash flow month by month pays down your line of credit. And by the 12th month, or probably even earlier, depending on if you get a bonus, some type of extra money along the year, that zeroes out and you take that same number, or hopefully if it was a credit card payment, you finish paying that off. Now all your monthly payments go to your cash flow, and then now you put a bigger number or that same number at another debt, right? And you just keep working it like that. A lot of people say the concept of velocity banking is something that they've been doing the whole time, and yet they just didn't know the name for it, right? And I tell people that, like, this is not new. This is not something that I'm teaching that's fancy, that no one can understand. This is stuff that people do already and just don't know the name for it, or they just don't know what they don't know. Or when I do tell people about this, they look at me with a face like, oh my goodness, like all this information was out there and I just never knew about it, right? So what I do is I like to tell people about it, and then we work on paying down their debts, acquiring debt tools, right? Debt assets, so we can pay down our debts, right? And get debt free and get financially independent. The money that we use, and then once we're debt free, we use that money, the money that we're using, we can use to buy assets. We can use to start our dreams, start our goals, right? Do whatever we want to do. So that's really in a quick version of what I actually teach and what I will be talking about mostly on this channel, right? I'm not really a legal credit expert, but I can teach you how to fix your credit. The information is free out there for everyone. Please, if you can, try not to pay people to repair your credit. If it's that desperate of a need, I understand. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, right? I just know that the information is out there for free, and just all you have to do is look for it, right? Don't go crazy trying to pay off all these lawyers and all these credit experts, and they are good at their jobs. That's why they're in the business, right? But sometimes all you have to do is a little bit of search, a little bit of research, and a little bit of digging, and you'll be able to find the answers you need. So I hope you guys stick along with me on this journey, guys and gals. I'm sorry, I'm not a sexist. But I hope you do stick with me on this journey, because I'm going to be posting, hopefully, daily. Yeah, hopefully, right? I'm going to try. Like I said, this is my first video. It's going to be fun, right? It's going to be exciting. And that's what I want. That's why I want to teach this, because this is fun, this is exciting, and I fell in love with this concept. I'm passionate about this concept because I truly believe in it. I've been living by it, right? And I just want to show the world, show other people, especially people in my community, in my city, my town, right, what this is. So we're going to get to it. and it's gonna be a good time. Like I said, my name is James Eddy B, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, take care.